Alright, we are now live from the NBFL Super Bowl as we load all the icons. It's not the matchup we were expecting by any means. If anyone follows my predictions, I did not exactly have either of these two teams making it this far, but shown us they have, and now one of them will be our champion. So on one side, as this finishes loading, 41 of 44. Come on. There we go. One side, we have the Destroit Lynels. That's Dasher Groo's, Dasher Go, whatever you want to call him, Dash. His Mighty Chaos Dwarves from the NFC Conference. On the other side, the People's Champ, the Norse, Astaflix and his Icelandic Dolts. Shocking the world, and some of the icons definitely did not load. So I'm not sure what's going on with Fumble today, but we're going to have to deal with a little bit of wackiness, it seems. Just the two Berserkers. Not a big deal, I suppose. Looks like Malcor's here, Jeffro's here, on and off. Dutch in the Twitch chat. I know Baz said he was gonna be here. We'll assume the commish will be here eventually, but for now we'll have to hold down the fort and bring all the action. So, one inducement is a mere single bribe for SD. Norse will be on defense first. They'll be kicking to the Chaos Dwarves, so it's time for Big Ben the Third, the 277 SPP legend, Agility 3, Mighty Blow, Sure Hands, Blodge, Sidestep, Bull Centaur to perhaps carry his team to victory. He's got, let's see, 2 relatively young blockers, 4 veterans, Dirty Player Hob, some random Hob up top, a decent guy at the bottom, and a mid-season Bull Centaur replacement who's, you know, block, break, tackle. He's still a Bull Centaur. He can make plays, but he's certainly not the dynamic player that his previous one was. Ye Old Stoneface, a draftee from Duke, was a hell of a Bull Centaur for defense. Block, break, tackle, mighty blow, and all that jazz. SD counters with the Mighty Norse. We've got Dwight Stevenson and a perfect defense out the gate to start things off. Dwight Stevenson, first time we'll mention this, probably not the last. He had 6 casualties by himself in the season opener against MRT. The AFC South and perhaps the entire league was put on notice that day when they pulled the upset. And he's got a decent team around him. A lot of the team has been whittled down over the course of the season, but when you can get a Strength 4 Juggernaut Berserker, a Agility 4 Mighty Blow Berserker up top, you got very solid runner, movement 8, Blodge with guard. Linos are just Linos. Another very good runner. I guess it's technically a catcher, but he'd do more running than he'd do catching. The Snow Troll, just a late pick, block, guard, stand for Mighty Blow. He's not been very good statistically this season. The fact that he's alive is actually a small miracle, but we'll see if the Snow Troll can do anything today. Both these teams running a low TV type theme. You know, both TVs are, okay, they're actually both just over 2,000. I'm a little surprised, but not that atypical for what they've done most of the season. So while a lot of us are running 24, 23, or some teams up at 27, dear God, there was a team at the start of the season that was 3,000 TV. These two have played the inducement game. They've done the bash, they've done the boot, and now they're in the Super Bowl. So whatever, you know, plan they've used so far has worked to perfection. Looks like Astaflix has 2 guys in reserve to answer the question in the Twitch chat. Just 2 random linemen, you know, they start with block, but they don't do much else. Looks like Dash is 2 on reserve as well, so we've got, what, 13 on 13, 1 bribe, 4 rerolls, 1 Apo each, so pretty even matchup across the board. Going for a blitz on this. We're going to call him a runner. I'm not going to call him a catcher. That's a very solid player, and if you can take him out if you're Dash, it won't be easy with all the guard nearby, but that's a guy who, if you take him out, it's a very key piece for Asti. Mobile, lodging guard with Dauntless. Not that Dauntless means a whole lot in this matchup per se. There's no Minotaur. There are two Bull Centaurs. Who do I think is going to win? I don't want to say it's simply a matter of which team gets the casualties, but when both teams go for fouling and blocks, and I mean, Norse, as most people know, are just a glass cannon team. They either take you out or get taken out. Chaos Dwarves are much sturdier, but they're still slow. Half the team is AV7, and it's not difficult for the Norse to just, pick off a blocker at a time and work their way to the Hobbs, and all of a sudden the Bull Centaurs look around like, hey, where'd everybody go? Baz, you with us now?
Yep. I just have to get this set up, but I'll be sorry I'm a little bit late.
No worries, you haven't missed a whole lot yet. So to answer the question in the chat, who do I think will win? Can I be cliche and say the team that rolls better? Nah, that's too boring. I know who I want to win. The People's Champ cannot be denied in the big game, but I don't know. Norse have won the title before, albeit a different coach. It was Relazite back in the day. Chaos Dwarves, I believe have won one as well. New Angrilan, coached by Liquor, several seasons ago now, but I just want a good game. Both teams roll well, both teams play well, and whatever happens, happens. But I want the Norse to win. Alright, we get a good block here on the extra Bull Centaur. A little surprising that he didn't put him down here and then go for a gang foul, but that's not the most critical player, so we'll see if he decides to foul somebody else. There is a potential surf attempt to be had here. Not this turn. Well, maybe. You could have blitzed him. Go for a push. Yeah. And then you get the 2-die here. You take him down, but okay, well, no need to surf if you take him out early, and the early Apothecary has been used. It's a very good play on both sides, I would say. So Dash, right off the start, is not in a position he wanted to be in. The perfect defense kind of foiled his take out the line of scrimmage plan. He's had to use an Apothecary early. His blitz didn't do anything but push. His early blocks didn't do anything. And now, all of a sudden, he's down a blocker, at least for this drive. And he's on his back foot. Asti admitting that he thought about firing Gunther Dolt, maybe for TV reasons, but Agility 4 Berserker, I mean, he's just Mighty Blow, Agility 4. He's not a superstar by any means, but it's a very useful player. Going for the 1-die. Perhaps desperation time already for the Lynels. Certainly won't be any good fouling opportunities early on for the Chaos Dwarves, it looks like. They're going to have to kind of hold firm, get off their butts, really. They've been knocked around a bit. That's a good block there. And a good knockout. And a very early and aggressive Apothecary for the Norse as well. Interesting. I mean, the Oppo and the badly hurt blocker, I agree with. I'm not sure about the KO on a useful player but just a KO. Well, we'll see if Mr. Floki Dolt, and I'm probably badly butchering that name, we'll see if he proves his worth whenever he gets back up on his feet.
I'd say he probably wants to maintain the player advantage.
True. Good news for Dash is that the Snow Troll is not in contact currently, so unless Asti wants to use the Blitz with that player, the Claw won't be useful this turn. But there is a juicy Bull Centaur sitting at the bottom there. And of course he rolls a 1 when he tries to Blitz with him, so, you know, live by the big, die by the big. You know, Jeffro, with the, with the Bloodthirster.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The best big in the league, Markham for Hunt. Haven't you heard of him?
Oh, no. No, he did not earn his keep this season.
No.
He had more casualties in the first, 7 games before he got Mighty Blow in his first season than he did, all of this past season.
That reminds me of my Bloodthirster, where the first season he was doing his job, he was doing great. And then for whatever reason, the second season, he didn't do jack shit, just like that foul didn't there. You would just hit the players, and he's just slapping them around. I'm like, dude, hurt something. Come on. I don't know, maybe there's this second season curse with Bloodthirsters, but I doubt anybody besides the two of us are ever going to find out.
Yeah, that whole race is kind of bad.
Yeah.
We'll have a different discussion on that one. Let's keep the focus here on these boys. Because I would love, you say People's Champ, I would love to see this glass cannon shatter into a million pieces.
Wow, what did Asti do to you?
I don't know.
You just don't like noise?
He diced me early. It was after the 6 casualty game that what's his face had. And I was like, oh, he can't keep that hot dice. No. He kept the hot dice. He kept the hot dice all season. Pretty much all season he had these things. So I don't know what other games he was failing at, but he was not failing much at these.
I mean, if he's done it all season, there's no reason for him not to do it here, right? Interesting. Not sure what Dash was going for there. He was trying some sort of chain. Ran into the Stand Firm Snow Troll on the second push, so what kind of block is he looking for here? And he left the Bull Centaur in contact. Looks like he's going straight for Dwight Stevenson. For better or for worse? 1, 2, 3, 4. You could go there. Get your 2 die. Probably. Ball should be safe. Nothing. Nothing again, man. Dwight Stevenson, he's the hero we need. He's got some sort of wolf pelt on, but to me that looks like a cape. Looking like a shirtless Batman or something right there. You gotta be careful here as Asti, of course. There's so much guard here and just so many players you could easily frenzy trap yourself, but there's also a lot of opportunities for blocks and casualties, and we're going to get one here on the Bull Centaur. The block, not a casualty. Then you got the Snow Troll. You can hit Graham Glassjaw, who, I mean, when you get hit by a Snow Troll, maybe you do have a Glassjaw. We'll see. And then you follow up with a block on somebody. Baz?
Hello?
Hello?
Does this work now?
Yes, sir.
Oh my god. Alright, well, due to a mixture of technical difficulties and a misunderstanding on how time works. It took me a little while. But looks like it's been an interesting start. Appoed. Oh, to turn 1, we had a surfed Chaos Dwarf.
Not quite. He was going to be surfed, and he got powed, and he got hurt on the sideline. And then the same Berserker, Gunther Dolt, who apparently Asti was considering firing, he's got 2 casualties already. So he's a...
Oh, yeah, yeah. We had to talk about that, and he's like, is Edge 4 really that good? And I'm like, yes it is. And then I'm assuming he appoed a KO?
Yes, he appoed a KO on the runner Floki Dolt right above the Snow Troll.
Okay. Well, you love to see that. Aggressive Appo use in a big game is what you want to see.
Mm-hmm. We had an NCBB playoff game last night between UNAM and St. Louis where Fool had a couple... Well, at the end of the game, he had 7 badly hurt players. But initially, one of the catchers gets badly hurt. We're like, okay, you could probably apothecary that. He chooses not to. Another one gets hurt. And we're like, okay, you should probably... Nope, he didn't use it there. And then a third one, we're like, okay, you need... Nope, he never used the apothecary. So, big game. Sometimes you gotta go big or go home, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of... what are you saving the players for, right? They're saving them to win this game next season, which you could just win it now.
Exactly.
That being said, I mean... I'll be interested to see. It's hard that early in the game, especially on the KO, because turn 1, especially. I mean, or maybe it was turn 2. I don't know.
It was turn 2 for the KO Appo.
Yeah, so it's too early to really know if that player's going to help you win the drive. Because if you don't win the drive, then and you lose something, But all right, so we got a foul coming. I like a death here. A death would be nice.
Not quite. That's not even close.
Underwhelming.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, getting away from the Snow Troll is probably the best idea.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of tough there. Because, obviously he really can't afford to lose another dwarf, but at the same time, now you're basically giving Asti an incredible amount of movement.
Yeah, and then you freed up a guy here that was trapped by 3 players, so good move by him. Oh, is he getting... Yeah, I mean... Is he taking a shot here? You got guard there. Wouldn't be easy. That's a huge POW on that guy. That clears a lot of space here.
Yeah, I guess, is he sending the catcher, I guess, and trying to use Dauntless here?
He has 1 tackle lineup who's already moved.
Can Grimsy get there?
Yes, but I'm not sure how good it was.
But no.
He's sending somebody. Okay, so I'm not sure who, but it's got to be...
He's sending the Dauntless catcher then.
Yep.
Nice. There you go. He gets the POW.
Wow. That deserves... Oh my god. I was going to say, that deserves a cheer, and that deserves a slash hurt. That's brutal. And he goes for a foul, and that doesn't work. But perhaps the damage has already been done.
Yeah, you've got... I mean... I have a feeling the Norse fans are feeling pretty good at the moment.
That's true. That is the player that Asti used the apothecary on. So Floki Dolt, which I am not pronouncing correctly, perhaps the hero for the People's Champs. Although Jeffro, not a fan of them.
Yeah, I mean, Asti's been... These Norse hit hard, man. Real hard. It's been... It is interesting because, I have a feeling an inordinate amount of the people Asti beat this season left the game feeling like the dice weren't exactly.
I mean, that's not Asti's fault, though, right?
Well, what I was going to say is partially that's like kind of how Norse are. They're just one of those teams.
So tough failed roll there by a former Cal player.
And Jamon, I didn't even see you mention it in the chat. Because I was thinking MRT in the first game of the season. I know Jeffro had a really rough game. I know there were quite a few of them, but Asti's really good at leveraging this team in a way that really gives him a lot of chances early to swing the game his way. And then if he gets any advantage, he's good at really dialing down the pressure. I think we've all been pretty impressed by the season he's had.
Shocked? I mean, that's how I describe it. I picked him probably third in my preseason preview, which is kind of
which was probably pretty reasonable.
Yeah, I picked shockingly I picked MRT to win the South for the 5th time in a row. That the fact that he didn't is surprising. The fact that Asti destroyed him in the season opener was baffling.
I'd point out MRT was on a very long one-season division title win streak, so I understand why you pick him.
Yeah, I as much as I wanted to pick your Wood Elves, believe me.
I didn't pick my Wood Elves, so
fair enough. But point is,
publicly, I did not pick the Wood Elves.
Exactly. Nobody picked the Norse, publicly or privately. Asti was telling us, he's got so much experience with Norse at high TV against Clawbash and all this other stuff. We're sure, that's ranked in box and all that fun stuff where you can cherry pick, and it's different. It won't matter. Norse are bad and all. Well, joke's on us. He is potentially 12, 15-ish turns away from winning a Super Bowl title.
Yeah, it's it's looking good here. He. Obviously it's not done. You never know. There are all kinds of things in Blood Bowl that can even things up in a hurry. But
lots of dice to be rolled. Lots of dice to be rolled.
Yeah, look, we could see some dwarf long bombs here in a second. We don't know. But
yeah, you do have an Agility 4 player available still. Bull Centaur is very fast if you can break through somehow. There's really no deep safety. You got the Agility 4 Berserker kind of there, Calm 11, but this doesn't help things.
Yeah, he kind of just can't even get a player out. Is the issue. This is kind of what I mean, right? Obviously, Asti's, the removals have been nice for him so far, but then you look at the way he's leveraging his advantage in players, and Dash doesn't even really have an option. So it's okay. Maybe
he was destined to be knocked out, I suppose.
Yeah, well, he did his job, right?
Yes, he did the one. Even if he doesn't wake up for the rest of the game, he did the one play he had to make.
But yeah, it's definitely cool to see. It's cool. We've been talking, about especially, AV8 Elves and the big mutation bash. And it's kind of nice to see someone not named Gru kind of break through with a different type of team. I'm trying to think the last. So the last 5 Super Bowls have been largely just elves and chaos.
High elves, chaos, yeah.
We have vampires. Can't forget the vampires.
True. And then they imploded the next season, but that's vampires.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That was a very impressive season by Rel as well. But Norse, that's definitely. You gotta tip your cap there. Even if he's kind of breaking my heart by not following the AFC South traditions. We might have to kick him out of the division after this.
Yeah, I had this stat cooked up from earlier, and it's one of those useless stats that they'll have on preview shows or during a broadcast where, unfortunately, the AFC South coaches that are currently there are all time 0 and 5 in the Super Bowl. So Asti is on pace to break those projections. And it's, like you said, a little disheartening. Like, read the room a little bit, dude.
Yeah, this isn't what we do, man. We celebrate AFC titles way too much and then lose.
Exactly. Has this been...
Now,
I haven't caught all of the playoff games this season. We've only done commentary for, this might be the third one, honestly. It just seems like there's been a lot of playoff games this season where one team just kind of gets beat off the field. I caught Destroit grew NFC Championship game late, and half the apes were on the bench. Jamon in our first playoff game just beat up a bunch of orcs, which is very unlikely, but it happens. AV9 breaks 2. There's a very good pickup there by Lawless Dolph. Does it just seem like a lot of playoff games have went like that this year?
yeah, I mean, it's, it has not been the... I don't think that there were a bunch of games that we would have regretted not doing commentary on. Let's go that way. Not a ton of super interesting back and forth positions and stuff like that, but I mean, part of it is obviously just low sample size. It's going to happen,
Yeah.
But I do wonder if some of it is the league trending smaller in TV.
Mm-hmm.
Benches are a little lighter. So a few early removals add up a little more. I mean, look at this. These guys both entered this game with 13 players.
Yeah.
So obviously, I mean, it's...
Wizards
Wizards being back made
sure.
people cutting down, which made sense. I mean, it hurt some of people last season. It hurt some this season. A lot of the really big teams just got crushed early by inducements. And so I think it's kind of somewhat a natural course there. And then I think that there were quite a few teams in the playoffs who were not necessarily the biggest. That's a hell of a play by Stefan McClure. Now just go go stand next to the ball. And we had a lot of, I don't know that we had more low AV teams than normal, but those aren't necessarily the teams that got blown off the pitch, so I don't think that had a lot to do with it.
Yeah, I was trying to just figure out if there was some kind of correlation going on or just random chance. We've talked about Norse, they've beaten a few teams off the field, and he's going for a foul on the snow troll. Interesting.
Yeah, I don't like that at all. You're behind, so I'm fine with the foul. Foul is fine. You're behind. You need to try to make a play. I don't love using the reroll there just because you just kind of showed that you could get a desperation, sack on the ball, and you might have to do it again. And now never mind. Apo's fine. I was looking at Astaflix's rerolls, and he had 1.
Yeah, Dash had 2, so he
had 2. So that plays fine. I mean, it's again, we just talked about there's only 13 players on this Norse team. So your best chance if you enter down 1-0, if you got a casualty there, that's a little bit closer to maybe you can make something happen in the second half to take this to overtime.
Yeah.
Because it's absolutely possible we see the Norse get blown off the pitch.
Yeah, I mean, the problem for Dash is that this was his offensive drive, and so normally, outside of, clutch plays like that, there's a score for the Icelandic Dolts. Dash's drive, your Chaos Dwarves, you're supposed to inflict the pain. You knock down those stupid AV7 Lynels at the line, you knock one of them out, you hurt another one, you foul something else, and you're up 2 players or 3 players early, and you start rolling. But if you're on defense first, it's a little harder to get that train rolling. or on defense to start the second half.
Yeah, I mean, both these teams kind of are both these races kind of like to play that game. And so if I'd been here when I was supposed to, I'd be talking about how the toss was a really big deal in this game.
Mm-hmm.
But good thing I wasn't, because that talking point would have looked dumb pretty quickly.
Well, when you get a perfect defense, it changes it a little bit.
Yeah, that makes sense. So perfect defense kind of switched the pressure. I do like in I'm curious how the rule changes are going to affect perfect defense, because you won't be able to move as many players around.
It's D3 plus 3 open players, right?
Yeah, so you can't move your line of scrimmage, which is kind of a big deal.
That's the biggest thing about perfect. Well, it's not the biggest thing, but it's certainly a huge element of it as it currently is.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's especially certain defensive setups kind of are built on it, but there's going to be a lot of weird little interesting things that we're going to have to get used to.
6, 7, 8, 9. With a quick snap, could you...
I mean, it's doable.
Yeah, could you fandangle a chain here if you do it right?
I don't know if he's set up in a way to do it, but maybe. I mean...
Move Jamie southwest, or just...
He needs 3 blocks on him.
Yeah. Won't be easy
to push.
He didn't. He's not going for it. He's going to give him all a little bunk on the head.
Yeah, I mean, it's just getting that... Ooh, there we go. Getting to that spot kind of between the guy you'd have to chain push and the berserker is just not really something you can do as Chaos Storms very well at all.
Mm-hmm.
And we were just saying that, like, the way you get back into this game is getting a couple removals. So, like, could happen.
You got 2. I believe there's 3 KOs potentially coming back.
It looks like he's going to foul. Maybe.
Well.
No, none of these. Well.
Yeah, you don't have any reserves at this point. So you've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you've only got 10 max. Asti currently has 4, 6, 8,
10 and
9.
A half.
And then, anywhere from 9
Basically.
to 12. Oh, better. Still the strength 4, but you gotta be careful here. Yeah, Dash is being a bit cheeky there, but he's not wrong. If it's just 9 Norsemen, that's going to be a difficult offensive drive unless they remove something on the line pretty early.
Yeah, I mean, 9, 10, I mean, you're anything less than 11 and you're happy as Dash. It gives you a path, which is really all you can ask for a lot of the time.
And you got all 3 back. So.
See, he tempted fate a little bit too much there.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna be real curious what we see from Ash here. I mean, this is like, there's a reason I haven't played anything like Chaos Dwarves in this league. Frankly, I mean, there's no way in hell I'd do as well as either of these coaches with the teams they're taking, or really any of the other Bash ones, because I don't really know how to play things that aren't responsive when things go bad, you know? So I'm real curious what he's going to do here, how he's going to try to force the issue, because it's not impossible, but it's definitely going to be hard. But he's a really good Chaos Dwarf coach, so I'm sure we're going to see some really good stuff. And I'm sure we're going to see some more good stuff from Asti like we have all season.
Yeah, I am very bad with Chaos Dwarves. I do not really understand them at all.
Oh boy.
Taken. Married to the game. I'm single now.
Okay.
Married to the game.
So you've got 1 Bull Centaur, 3 Hobbs, all the blockers.
Is now single. Even though you were married.
If your line of scrimmage stays up and you can muck up the drive, give yourself a chance. The 3 rerolls, nice for Asti though.
Yeah, I like that. I like how he put his good blockers on the line. Like that's kind of backwards, but it does make it so if there's some pushes here, he can really make things difficult, or at least hold some players and see what he can do. I'm curious if we're gonna get the elusive partial Norse Daka. I imagine we won't. That's not really how Asti plays, but you never know.
It's true. Could see a foul here. You still have that bribe available.
Oh, we're gonna see a foul for sure. I mean, that's the downside to this is, well, so far they've stayed, but yeah, the foul's gonna come on one of them, and
looks like it's Glassjaw, and it's a big foul too. And it's a weak foul, too. But that doesn't mean you can't try again.
No, and like that, this is one of those situations where, like, as Asti, you're happy with the deep kick because you're already winning. So, like, you don't really care about having to go farther, but it kind of, you don't have to worry about protecting the ball for a few turns here. And so, it can do things like that.
Good thing for Asti is with the 2 stuns, I mean, Dash is going to have limited options on how to counter back and like get any blocks and get any removals.
Yeah, I mean that's also the downside to putting your better dwarves on the line too, right? Is now like you can't do anything with them this turn. Although I'm not 100% sure he even would have stood up the one next to the
Snow
Troll anyway, but. So all you got to do is give yourself a chance on turn 7 and 8. That's it.
Yeah. This is the part of Chaos Dwarves and just Strength 3 base teams in general that it's difficult. Because the Dwarves, they want to block people. They need to get removals to let the Bull Centaurs do what they need to do to win the game. And here, you have to stand up the 2 on the line. And then if you put the others in contact, you're just opening them up to be hit next turn, and you're not really going to get any blocks. So it's very difficult. Like in my mind, there's a foul there. 1 for 1. I
mean, again, like you hate going down more numbers here, but you kind of have to do something.
Yeah.
And I mean, you got to get a little bit of vengeance for your fallen comrades on that Berserker, if you can.
A little bit,
yeah. But yeah, I mean, Chaos Dwarves, like, structurally have, they have the same issue Lizards kind of do with the line of scrimmage, where, like, you kind of have to put the players you don't want to get removed up there because your other players are so likely to. But as you're saying, they're also Strength 3, so, like, it's not hard to block down a Chaos Dwarf line of scrimmage by any means, and it's now your players are in weird spots and trying to keep everyone together. It's, as I said, it's something that I don't really understand how to do well.
Snow Troll Blitz, yes. I
think I think the curtain might just be closed.
It goes for the one die pow. Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't much reason not to take it at that point, especially he has 5 rerolls. I'm sure he's used them because he knows all he has to do is put the ball in the end zone and he has it locked up. So, all but locked up. But yeah, it's looking like this season's going to end the way it began with a lot of players in the outbox caused by Norse.
Yeah. None by Dwight Stevenson, though, but he's inspired the rest of the boys.
I was literally mousing over him to check if he got any of them.
I know the KO'd Blitzer's gotten 2. Snow Troll finally got 1. Wow. I know like blocks and that stuff is a little overrated, but Assie's already at 43. And generally, I was under the impression that doesn't count like frenzy follow-up blocks.
That number doesn't, no.
Yeah, so 43 in 9 turns is...
tremendous amount.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of, once again, like, know the strengths and weaknesses of your team. You have to outblock your opponent as Norse. I mean, there's a reason why I have no idea how to play them effectively, because I don't know how to block people.
Yeah, you and I are like the take block lizard coaches somehow.
Yeah, and it's, you can't give up 2 hits for every 1 you take, because if you fall down in numbers, you do not have the dynamic playmakers. Although one thing about this Norse team I do like is that those 2 runners are really, that's a really nice pair for when you do need to bail yourself out. But, that's kind of what I meant about him leveraging his situation well, and him a very good job at putting his team in a position to to remove
to steamroll
players.
Yeah.
It's just like he gets a lot of blocks early. His blocks are almost always with the right players. He sets up fouls. And then if he gets that advantage at all, he presses it, and he definitely knows how to play them in like a win more manner.
Mm-hmm.
As we mentioned, like it's hard not to praise.
Yeah, this is a race that he's figured out, that he's playing well in this environment. Having free block Lynels as replacements in the back of your hand is very, very useful, but a lot of these players have a very specific role, and they're doing it very, very well. That is the thing about more generalist teams where, Chaos Renegades, Chaos, those players are such blank slates that you can turn them into anything, but sometimes you just turn them into average players where they don't do anything in particular all that well. And so, the lineman, who's got dirty players fouling all the time. The one who's got tackle will be going after blodgers for marking or blitzing purposes. You've got a movement 8 catcher for long distance plays. You've got agility 4 for pickups and, clutch situations. Dwight Stevenson, stand firm, strength 4 piece. Very good roadblock. Probably a good call to back up here and reposition.
Yeah, he doesn't need to score by any means, if dropping back's the better thing to do, and it probably is. It's what, 8 on 9 right now? So you're never mind. Oh my god. Well, there we go.
Yeah.
But
this is where Chaos Dwarves will get out of position really easy.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can't do anything about it, especially with both bulls gone. If he even tries to cover the whole field with all of his blockers, he's hosed, and more 2 dice blocks in the Norse favor is going to crush him.
Yeah.
We got a pretty easy 5+, 4+, 6+, 2+2+ surf here. Oh no, it's a sidestep. He has sidestep now. He didn't always have sidestep on that catcher, but never mind. So you can't go for the absolutely absurd play. But yeah, that's the other thing, right? Is with the Norse, it's okay if he does lose some players. Like all of his rookies have block; they can all do something, which a lot of teams can't.
It's easy to say he messed up the drive because he's had to move the ball back, but I'm not sure that's the case. He's isolated all the blockers to where they cannot really help each other. They've been on the ground the entire time. He's got the ball. Dash is having to do desperate stuff like that and burn to reroll to do it.
Yeah, I mean, Asti can pretty easily set up a cage near mid pitch down at the bottom if he wants.
On the top of his wonderful logo.
Yeah, or he can continue to drop back and screen off the advance. He's in a pretty strong spot here. I mean, it definitely.
Oh, he's going for the surf, and I love it.
I mean, it has to flex. Like, of course he is, right? I'm wondering if he'll put the catcher in a spot to lock in both hobgoblins from being able to dodge out. No, he's just going to protect the ball.
I think that's a fine play. I mean, Tom Savage could make the play of his career by doing like a 4+, like get around there somehow, but...
Yeah, I mean, if you roll enough 6s and pals in a row, you can do something.
Yeah.
But as Asti, you just got to make it a whole lot of them.
Yeah, and like we said, Asti does not need to score. Like, he has no reason to. He's under no pressure to do so. He can run back and go in his own end zone if he likes.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I would advise is if Dash has a player in the end zone on the last turn of the game, don't do a vanity pass where if you fumble and that player catches it, it turns into a tie. I say from experience that you feel really stupid if you do that.
Well, I mean, if the opponent blitzes a cage corner, and I'm looking at the game chat, I mean, he's going to mark the ball. I mean, you're agility 4 blodge. You're not that scared of the random hobgoblin marking you. And if Dash wants to throw a bunch of dice and tag the ball, I mean, it's hard to stop him from tagging it, but he's never going to get a good shot on it.
I mean, you want him to try to tag it, right? Like, who cares if the ball's tagged? I mean, as long as the ball doesn't... The only way you lose is if the ball hits the ground. So if he's blitzing a cage corner and not the ball, I mean, that's a good thing. I don't... There hasn't been much of anything that Asti's done that I have thought was poor. I mean, obviously, like he hasn't had to make any hard decisions here, but yeah, like right there, like that's a bigger worry than him marking the ball.
Yeah.
Bro, do not hand the ball.
I was going to say, do not hand the ball off to a guy on the sideline. Especially one who doesn't even like gain a skill from a touchdown.
Oh, he's going to hand to the catcher.
Oh, okay. I was staring at that lineman like, oh no.
Okay.
So
I was. We were thinking the same thing. Like, what are you doing, man? Because like it looked like he was doing a slide. I guess we're too used to just always doing sideline cages as lizards, which some other people don't always do that. Well, here we go.
This one, I was gonna say this one blocker's been holding his own, but the rest of the team not so much. And the best part about this is this game is under an hour. Like it's perfectly short.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it was a quick game. I mean, congrats to Asti. Really impressive season. We have a new champion, which we knew we were going to have, but Norse get it done and really just prove that the age of bloat is probably over.
Rest in peace.
And great season from Dash as well. I mean, obviously, like, tough place for it to end, but real strong season. Nice run from the Chaos Dwarves. I mean, it's a new team on the NFC side too. AFC's won 2 in a row against the NFC, so tides are turning a little bit there. But Yeah, I mean, I can't say a ton. I missed the beginning of the game, which I apologize for, but,
Yeah, I'd like
really
to.
good season from both.
I'd like to give
But
Dash a shout out. He's in a tough division with Gru, who's arguably the best coach in the league. He's using apes now instead of frogs, and he's still just as effective with them. Last season, Dash won the division, had the second best record in the conference with like 10 wins, but was only the number 2 seed because Menno had a slightly better season. Fell to Menno in the NFC Championship game. This year, gets in as a wild card because Gru won the division, and just runs through 3 straight teams that get to the Super Bowl. And then, unfortunately, just had this game happen where it didn't go well at all. But
yeah, couldn't quite get the 4th in a row. But, as I was saying,
he's on the
good
cusp.
season with both guys. And, this is, it was a fun season. Thanks for everyone for taking part. Thanks for listening to us talk about things like we know what we're talking about. But it should be cool, and we'll see how we go moving forward. But
I guess there's just one thing left to say. Is it draft time?
no.
Oh. Alright.
Soon.
Okay.
I assume it will be sometime after the holidays, is trying to run the draft while people have
Christmas?
lots of family stuff doesn't really work. But I don't know the exact time frame, but we'll figure it out. And there's a few more loose ends to tie up going into that, as far as making sure we know who's playing what race where, etc. But it should be fun. And look who it is.
It's Asti, the people's champ. Woo!
Hey, there you go.
Hey, let's go!
Congratulations, man.
Hey, man, thank you. Holy crap. Oh, boy.
You played well, your team was on fire, and you did it. You broke the curse of the AFC South.
Okay. I went 6-0 in the playoffs.
Like, score-wise.
Yeah, I did not get scored on.
I mean, your opponents never had players to score with.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
No, really, really good stuff, man. Congratulations on getting the win. I missed the very beginning and then was having some mic issues, so didn't start talking until a little bit before your sack.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I think one of the pivotal moments of the game was when Dash committed early to try and block down my Yeti and 2 Ulfs.
Mm-hmm.
He blitzed a bit too early on my runner and then didn't really know what to do after and ended up having to take a 1D against the Yeti, who has stand firm.
Yep.
And then didn't get him down, then couldn't get any blocks in. Then I almost had a surf turn 1.
Yeah.
You
just badly hurt him before you could even get there.
Yeah, I rerolled the skull and both down, and I felt bad for it afterwards. Then I rolled like the pow, and I was like, "Ah, oh, god damn it!" But then I just killed the chorp, and I was like, "Okay,
that works."
I mean, okay.
Let me end this broadcast. We can talk in the other chat where everyone can jump in. So
yeah,
thank you to everybody who watched any of our games this season. We will see you next year, and it's gonna be awesome. Might be a little different, but it's gonna be a ton of fun.
Expect a lot of PMs sometime soonish.
Yes, sir.